The Teeming Universe, an extraterrestrial field guide. What would you do if you were dropped off on an alien planet filled with insectoid-esque creatures? I'm not 100% sure, but I think that mushroom tree over there just crapped out a bunch of caterpillars that all rapidly scuttled underground. And what in the hell is a fleshberry? Is it safe for me to use Gold Bod medicated foot powder on my penis? Oh, I can't hold it, burns! Find out this time on In the Teeming Universe. If you haven't seen my other videos on the Teeming Universe, you should definitely go watch them. They explain the concept of the book and also cover the life inhabiting a few alien worlds: Urcelion, Solis, Borold, Kralon, Torea, and Aite. The Teeming Universe is a field guide to a myriad of extraterrestrial planets containing multitudes of strange alien species in the known universe. We know about these worlds because of one artist, Christian Cline. They're a great artist, and I'll be linking to their pages in the description. Without further ado, let's take a look at another one of the worlds detailed in these pages. Welcome to the world of Ateria. It's 40% more massive than Earth with 20% more gravity. Oxygen on this planet is much lower than on Earth because the plants have dormant seasons. It has kind of a weirdly drastic elliptical orbit because it smashed into a protoplanet and absorbed it, like that child of the confused parents that were expecting twins and its brother that the parents had already named and emotionally attached to. Its orbit takes 4 human years to complete and swings very far away from the star for a 2-year winter, resulting in the planet becoming frozen. The plants have a shade of blood red or reddish purple to more easily warm themselves following the harsh winter. There are no true vertebrates on the entirety of Aeteria, although some beings do have endoskeletons. I'm telling you, some people just never truly grow a spine.
The jokes are getting worse.
Members of the Arthrostrepophyllum instead using calcium phosphate or chitin shells like earth insects. They often have 4 eyes. I say often because that guy over there made a sacrifice to add to my collection. They're mesotherms, meaning they share traits of both warm and cold-blooded animals. While they look like insects, they have highly developed circulatory and respiratory systems. Also, above the forest, there are large jellyfish-like invertebrates that drag their tentacles along the forest for nutrients. I like tentacles. Not like that. This is the fisher crane, one of the smaller predators on the planet. Like human young, they are usually much fatter and wigglier in the larval stage. They have a metamorphic lifestyle, hatching into grubs in the early spring and reaching maturity by early summer. They have a 4-foot wingspan, and they're only 20 inches from tip to butt. They have 4 eyes, 2 for the visible spectrum and 2 for infrared. Fisher cranes display sexual dimorphism. Males are bigger and more red, and females are smaller and purplish. Cranes have a 3rd sex, one that has underdeveloped versions of both reproductive organs. When they reach the age of maturity, one set falls off, and the crane cries hysterically because it fears it has undergone genital mutilation. Regardless of species, puberty is a stressful time. Another creature failed by the public school system. While it seems pretty alien, this is present in earth animals such as insects, certain fish species, and the common house cat. They have a brain and 3 smaller clusters of nervous tissue, but are not much smarter than common birds. Grubs feed on detritus and plant matter, and when they reach adulthood, they transition to a carnivorous diet. When it's time to boink, they fly into dense aerial clusters to have sky orgies, lay eggs, and then immediately die. For months afterwards, the rain is whitish and sticky. The hard-shelled eggs they lay are adapted for temperatures under 30 below zero, containing high levels of glycerin to keep them from freezing. And all claims that I am harvesting them in an unsustainable manner to make cheap car antifreeze is slanderous libel. This is the Blacktail marsh noodle, runner-up for the best name ever. These common freshwater aquatic predators are not arthrostreptans, but instead in the phylum Vermillions. They have no exoskeleton, instead using an endoskeleton made out of cartilage. It has bad vision, so its 2 front legs evolved into probes to feel around and impale other creatures on its proboscis. Imagine this thing putting its entire proboscis up your urethra. It also uses electrical signals to find food. They can grow larger than a human male, and they reach maturity around 4 months out of the nymph stage, living for around 3 years before not going the way of the guy that I didn't hit with my car. This is the tripper hog. They have a thick brown shell which protects them and lets them camouflage, and a spade-shaped head used for digging. Like the common redditor, it spends most of its time browsing and eating. During the winter, they bury themselves alive and hibernate and then wake up. Unlike the average redditor, it mates at least once in its lifetime, sometimes every spring. Wait a minute, this thing is eat, sleep, fuck. So it's like a human, but without all the redundancies and cognitive dissonance. This thing is a sturg. Even though this kinda looks like a mushroom, you're dumb, because it's actually a tree. Sturgs exist across the entirety of the Aeterian globe. They can grow up to 250 feet or 76 meters tall. Despite looking like trees, they have animalian traits as well. When they release pollen, their seedlings are more similar to caterpillars than seeds. Seedlings move around and will also develop bristles to avoid being eaten. They will crawl into a burrow where the sturg roots and begins to grow. Imagine instead of shooting loads, you jacked off into a field and all your sperms wiggled away into the night to find a hole to crawl in. They can live for up to 400 years and are home to numerous animals, like trees on Earth. Here's a sturg called the dwarf fleshberry sturg. I want to eat the fleshberry. Does the fleshberry taste like flesh? To find out what an additional episode in this series would be about, we're gonna go back to our Yetuan correspondent, Yeet.
Thanks, Az. Let me know if you win that lawsuit against Gold Bond medicated foot powder. Another episode would cover the other corners of the universe filled with strange alien life, as well as maybe looking at the history of migrate species. I'd like and subscribe with all notifications to see that, and anyone who wouldn't is an idiot. Coming up on Earthwatch tonight at 11, the humans are celebrating New Year's by kissing each other while the balls drop or something. At least they don't do it before the balls drop, because that's definitely a crime, and those are the first to die in prison. Back to you, Az.
Thanks, Yeet. I want to thank my friend and the very talented author of the Teeming universe, Christian Cline, for getting in contact with me and providing and drawing assets for the creation of this video. I loved his book, and you should definitely go check out all of his stuff because he's super talented, and honestly, if you don't, you're missing out. I also want to thank Coralinius, aka Qalasaci, for helping me with the illustration of this video. They're super talented, and I'll be linking to their work as well. Anyways, if you like this and you want to see another installment, make sure to like, comment, and the bell with all notifications enabled.